There's been an increase in the spate of attacks on military in the past few weeks, even as the military claims it is winning the war on insurgency and terrorism. But the latest spate of attacks has cast some doubts on the claims. Joining us now to discuss the recent loss in the part of the military is retired Army officer Colonel Hassan Stanlabo. You're welcome to the news at 10.
Thank you, Maraj.
So, to you, is the military still on top of the security situation in the country?
Well, of course. The military is still very much on top of the situation. Despite
the losses that they have recorded in the past few days?
The level of casualty recorded so far, it's nothing to bother about. I must tell you this, is still within the acceptable level. And the military will get worried when casualty level begins to attain 20%. But all what we've been having, I think it's still within an acceptable level.
Well, the military is engaged, of course, with Boko Haram, which brings to mind what President Muhammadu Buhari said at the UN General Assembly when he addressed leaders, and he called out to the UN and requested that they intervene and help with to act as negotiator between the federal government and Boko Haram. What's your take on that?
I mean, it resonates with me comfortably. A very, very credible platform such as the UN to serve as a mediator is fantastic. It shows that we have nothing to hide.
What about the use of local negotiators?
I think the entire process will be driven with enough transparency, so to speak, integrity. If a platform outside Nigeria handles it, a UN platform or the International Red Cross Organization, UNICEF, and so on. MSF, you mention it.
And if Boko Haram rejects the UN negotiator?
Then we ask them to suggest what they want, and we'll see what their suggestion is.
And we have to go with what they want?
If it's a credible organization, we'll go with them. If it's a credible organization, definitely we'll go with them.
There's also the issue of the Niger Delta Avengers who are attacking pipelines again. I like to recall some of the latest kidnap, which happened right just beside us. A few landlords who were taken from the streets as they were out jogging in the morning, and then they said when they came back that they were not the targets of the attacks. And the Niger Delta Avengers have promised to attack pipelines wherever they run across the country. How do we negotiate with these ones? How do we go ahead with talking about peace with these people?
I must be frank with you, Amarachi. I really don't envy government's position right now, as far as the Avengers are concerned. In the first place, I think there are about, my last count gave me about 6 different groups now that are agitating there, and there isn't a common, or let me say, a unified command amongst them that we could say, okay, let's talk with this team. And we have discovered of late that when one group indicates that one so set of elders to serve as our negotiators, you hear another group going against that. Then another group will tell you we want Shoyinka, and so on. So where are we really? You really can't say. And besides, I think the groups are even confused. They don't really know what they want because their problems have not yet found a common identity among themselves.
So how will you suggest the government goes about this? How does government wade through the confusion?
Well, I guess that was what informed government's latest platform of Niger Delta Stakeholders Summit. Why government is probably opting for a summit is to see that probably they are able to have an all-inclusive discussion. Because like it is right now, there are some tribes or ethnic groups in, say, Niger Delta, in the Delta state, that are saying, look, these boys don't represent our interests. Okay? If groups are already saying that, I'm beginning to even say, is it because they are carrying arms that you are attending to them? Okay, finish attending to them and let's carry arms. Then we'll see if you would attend to us. It's because the impression being given from what these guys are saying is that, look, must we carry arms to be listened to?
I guess we'll have to leave it there, Colonel Stanlabo. Thank you so much for joining us on the News at 10.
I appreciate it.